Let's go to Romans 7. All right. Romans 7 and 12. Wherefore the law is holy, and the command, and this is Paul. This is Paul writing. Wherefore the law is holy, and the commandment holy, and just, and good. Was then that which is good made death unto me? God forbid. But sin, that it might appear sin, working death in me by that which is good, that sin by the commandment might become exceeding sinful. For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin. Carnal means that of the flesh. So what he's saying, the law is holy, and if you just cut off the flesh through circumcision, but you don't have the law written in your heart, which is the new covenant, having that law written in your heart. If you cut off the flesh, which is circumcision, it means absolutely nothing.
Well, we're not gonna have whether we accept it or not. Just my beloved forward. Yes, ma'am.
Um, can I ask you two to turn to Luke? Can I ask you two to turn to Luke chapter 1, verses 30 to 33? Can I ask you two to explain in depth?
And the angel said unto her, Fear not, Mary, for thou hast found favor with God. And behold, thou shalt conceive in thy womb and bring forth a son, and shalt call his name Yehoshua. He shall be great, and shall be called the Son of the Highest. And Jehovah God shall give unto him the throne of his father David, and he shall reign over the house of Yaakov forever, and of his kingdom there shall be no end. Of the Most High, the highest. He comes out of the lineage of David, yet his father is the Most High God. Um, let's get that in the Old and New Testament. Since you're going into New Testament scriptures now, I'll start going into New Testament scriptures as well. All right, first let's go to Genesis 3. Genesis 3:15. This is the Most High speaking and giving prophecy at the very beginning. And I will put enmity between thee, who is the serpent, and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. What is the woman's seed that's being spoken of? And how does that relate to David at all in any way? Can somebody answer that question? How is her seed a reference to David and not to Yehoshua? So, and women don't have seed, but there's one instance in which this woman can have a seed. Let's go to Isaiah 53. Isaiah 53 and 1. Who hath believed our report, and to whom is the arm revealed? And again, y'all, no one has still answered the question who the arm is that's being referenced and who the right hand of Yah is. No one has even addressed that point. No one has addressed that point. No one has addressed that point. For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of a dry ground. So There's no way that a root can grow out of a dry ground. And if there's no seed there and there's dry ground, and yet a root or a plant is growing out of the ground, and there's no one planted the seed there, that can only happen through a miracle of Jehovah. So you see here that there's root coming out of a root springing up out of a dry ground where no one even planted anything, and that was Mary. She was a virgin soil where no man put his seed, yet is bringing forth a plant. Okay, the next what was the next thing you said? You said it was something else you had mentioned. Oh, okay. The lineage of David. That's what it was we was getting into. Let's go to let's go to Numbers 36. We'll find out how a woman can have seed and who that woman was that had seed. That's mentioned in Genesis 3:16. Because no one has explained how Genesis 3:16 is talking about David when it says the seed of the woman. But Scripture answers that. Let's go to Numbers 36. In Numbers 36, we see the chapter that's known as the daughters of Zelophehad. And what happens when a woman, where a man has children, he only has daughters but no sons. And women in Israel did not inherit any, they didn't inherit, the sons inherited. But if a father had a daughter and no sons, then in a certain situation, she would receive an inheritance. Let's read Numbers 36. Okay, Numbers 36:6. This is the thing which Jehovah doth command concerning the daughters of Zelophehad, saying, let them marry to whom they think best, only to the family of the tribe of their father shall they marry. So a daughter of the daughter who has no brothers and she's about to inherit where her father leads has to marry within her own tribe. So if Mary is a Judite, she has to get married to another Judite. All right. So shall the inheritance of the children of Israel, so shall not the inheritance of the children of Israel remove from tribe to tribe. For every one of the children of Israel shall keep himself to the inheritance of the tribe of his fathers. And every daughter that possesseth an inheritance in any tribe of the children of Israel shall be wife unto one of the family of the tribe of her father, that the children of Israel may enjoy every man the inheritance of his fathers. All right. Neither shall the inheritance remove from one tribe to another tribe, but every one of the tribes of the children of Israel shall keep to himself his own inheritance. Now let's look at the genealogy of Yehoshua and see how he's now the seed of the woman, but yet comes from the line of David. Because there's two genealogies given in the new covenant, one in Matthew and the other in Luke. And you see that they're different genealogies, and now we're going to see why. We'll start first with Matthew 1. Matthew 1:1. This is the book of the generation of Yehoshua Mashiach, the son of David, the son of Abraham. As you read down, you start to see Abraham begot Isaac and so forth. We're going to go down to the 6th verse. And Jesse begot David the king, and David the king begot Solomon of her that had been the wife of Uriah. So now we're going through the lineage of Solomon, David and Solomon, all the way down to you get to Joseph, who was known as Yehoshua's father. Let's go to the 16th verse. And Yaakov begot Joseph, the husband of Mary, of whom was born Yehoshua, who was called Messiah. So we see that in this genealogy, he's recognized as Joseph's son, okay, who comes through the line of David and Solomon. All right, now let's change and see and Luke, the 3rd chapter, the genealogy given there. Luke, the 3rd chapter, and the 23rd verse. And Yehoshua himself began to be about 30 years of age, being as was supposed the son of Joseph, which was the son of Heli, which is really Eli. So he was supposed, or people thought he was the son of Joseph, but he wasn't. And in Matthew, you see that Joseph's father is Jacob, but here it says his father is Eli. Now, why does it say that Joseph has 2 different fathers? It's because he married Miriam, who was the son of Eli, who had no sons. So Miriam inherited the inheritance of Eli, but married Joseph. So now Joseph receives Eli's inheritance and is also considered a son of Eli. Just like the Lord says, as long as you marry within that tribe, which is the tribe of Judah. And you see now that this lineage doesn't go through King Solomon. This lineage goes through Nathan, son of David. So now we see that how he could be. Let's get it. Okay, Luke 3:31. Which was the son of Melek, which was the son of Menon, which was the son of Mattatiah, which was the son of Nathan, which was the son of David. So this lineage that Mary came from was of Nathan, the son of David, but Joseph came through Solomon, the son of David. But you see in Jeremiah 23 or 22 that Jehovah cut off the line of Solomon and said Solomon's line is not going to reign. All right? So he came through the lineage of Nathan, and that's mentioned in Old Testament. Let's go to the book of Zechariah 12. Zechariah 12, about the Messiah. Zechariah 12 and 10. And this is where the Messiah really comes from. And I will pour upon the house of David and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem the spirit of grace and of supplications. So the spirit or the forgiveness of sins would be poured out in these days. So there's a grace that's given to those who believe in the Messiah. And of supplications. And they shall look upon me whom they have pierced. And they shall mourn for him as one mourneth for his only son. No one mourned for David as though for an only son. That never happened to King David. And shall be in bitterness for him as one that is in bitterness for his firstborn. And that day there shall be a great mourning in Jerusalem. This never happened with David. As the mourning of Hadad Rimmon in the valley of Megiddo. And the land shall mourn, every family apart. The family of the house of David apart, and their wives apart. The family of the house of Nathan apart, and their wives apart. So now you see that the lineage of the Messiah really comes through Mary, who was of Nathan. Okay, not Solomon. Solomon's line was cut off. And that's why it says David's house and Nathan's house would mourn when this son would be cut off. And the family of the house of Levi apart, and their wives apart, and the house of Levi, because he's a king and a priest at the same time.
We surely appreciate that. My sister asked a question, and it's real simple. Yahweh named who his son is. And let's see. We first going to go to the book of Exodus, the 4th chapter. As I said, Yahweh don't play no hit and miss. If you turn to the book of Exodus, the 4th chapter, the 22nd and 23rd verse, Yah told Moses, when you go into Egypt, I want you to tell Pharaoh, thus saith Yahweh, Israel is my son, even my firstborn. And I say unto thee, let my son go, that he may serve me. And if thou refuse to let him go, behold, I will slay thy son, even thy firstborn, He's speaking about the nation. Turn to the book of Jeremiah, the 31st chapter. Hold on, my brother. I didn't interrupt you while you was teaching. Go in the book of Jeremiah, the 31st chapter. We read